Hello everyone and welcome back to that one playthrough of MMORPG Tycoon 2. I am Kyle and here we are in Eastwash, kind of from the mouth of the river here, a little different view to start out with. I wanted to start all the way back here because I finally went through and did one of those really big intense detailing sessions. So to start off with today, I'm going to start walking through from the start when you enter Eastwash, go up the path toward town, and from there start to show all the detailing I added in. Right off the bat here you can actually see that there is some crocodiles right here at the mouth that I put along the coastlines just because I was feeling like we needed to add some more enemies, and there are quite a bit more monster zones in this now to start with. So let's get rolling. So as we enter into Eastwash here, we can see all the normal detailing I had right from the start. There's a few more trees probably, but we've got a lot more of the plant growth kind of scattered around. And then right as we come up the path here, wanted to add some more elements that kind of hide other features. So like you can kind of see the town up here as you're walking up the road, but you're like, oh, look at all this other stuff. And we've got, you know, a fell tree, some mushrooms kind of growing around it as it's rotting over here. We got the fork in the road that leads to, you know, the deserted, abandoned little old village up here. And then over on this side, you walk up toward where the inn is and the tavern, where the quest lines will take our players kind of to start with here. You can kind of see that direction, that there's still the abandoned town, a lot more overgrown plant life. So if we go over here and look at this, you know, if you were to come up the path, just a little bit more detailing through here, some overgrown brush on the respawn point, and then some overgrown areas around the destroyed bridge here. If we head away from here, so where the two paths merge down here, again, just tried to add some plant life to give things a little more texture. We've started to get some spider zones, so there'll be some areas where players who might want to do more grinding, more combat-oriented players are going to be able to do some stuff that they're going to enjoy, just kind of fight some spiders. These are level 3, so these will be tougher spiders than what our players are used to dealing with. They'll still have the same abilities as the level 2 spiders that were in Brightwood. They're just a little bit stronger. So as we go up the path here, added some more trees, obviously. Again, trying to create some barriers visually, so as you're going up the path, you see portions of certain things, but like you still have to kind of go explore on your own. This little first patch here of this big spider zone before it gets stuck in a tree. A couple more felled trees. I didn't want to add too many rocks like Brightwood, but there are some rocks scattered around. This is clearly an area that's been, you know, taken over by spiders, so a big spider nest here. And then I added in, he's kind of stuck on the rock at the moment, but there is an elite spider here that's level 3, so if those combat-oriented players really want to do something fun, they can go fight this spider. There's no quest attached to it at the moment. I didn't want there to always be a quest attached to every elite enemy that's in the game. We're not playing Monster Hunter per se, we're just, you know, there's going to be little things players can go find and do, and if they want to go fight a big giant spider in this area, they are more than welcome to. Didn't make sense to have a quest in Brightwood to fight an elite spider and a quest in Eastwash to do the exact same thing. So if we kind of head back toward the road from here and kind of make our way down, I added, you know, again, just more features to kind of add some hidden stuff. So as players are walking down on ground level here, you know, you walk past here with a little wall, and then there's a tree stump with another felled tree down here, and everywhere there's felled trees I decided it made sense for there to be mushrooms, because there's probably going to be a lot of, you know, compost-esque type situations going on. This is a swampy area, it's very moist and wet, so there should be a lot of fungi kind of growing wherever there's rotting plant life and such. I don't know why this spider's on the road, but he's on the road. And I'm actually going to go ahead and press play on the game here. But yeah, there's more spider zones on either side here. But this path goes up toward the other little abandoned kind of village area where the ambush occurs. The quest line takes you in Eastwash. A little more features here that are kind of blocking visually certain things. So remember last time I made those quest lines for the trials, and there was that little circle of mushrooms. Well, that's actually still here, but I'll kind of show you how I hid that, and I'm going to force players to not really be able to phase through anything. And the guards here will actually attack the spiders occasionally if one spawns too close, so there will kind of always be some constant, not combat, but constant interaction between some of the things in this region. So what we'll do is we'll kind of head back toward the main road here, away from that area. We'll keep moving down. Still got the spider region over on the side here. Now, something I added in a couple of different spots, some big, visual obstructions here, but obviously players would normally be able to just phase through, walk through big rocks and trees like this. What I actually decided to do was, if we kind of move through here, there is a wall inside of here that just forms a circle, kind of goes into this tree here as well. But from the outside, you can't tell that there's a wall there. It kind of is hidden in all of the features, so it's not visually there. So it'll prevent players from kind of just walking straight through these objects. They should avoid fences for the most part. You can kind of see, like right there, there's a little bit of the fence showing, but I'm not too worried about that, because from here, if you were a player, you wouldn't really see it. So players will be forced to kind of walk around those big features, but as we come up the road here, you've got the little hunter's hut. We'll get to there in just one second. I'm going to walk inward here into this spider zone a little bit deeper, and here's the little mushroom circle, the little fairy circle we created last time with the spirit of the forest, one of the Angari spirits. And if we walk up to the edge here, there's just a little opening between these two trees. Now before we go inside, if we go all the way around, you can see there's trees, rocks, plants, everything looks kind of protected. It's hard to get in per se from a visual standpoint. It looks like it's all obstructed, and if we actually look inside again, I made a little wall that goes all the way through the entire thing to prevent players from actually kind of phasing through this. So as a result, they're always going to enter from this side. Now they'll potentially have to fight their way through some spiders if the spiders get in their way, but once they're into this region here in the middle, this is actually a safe spot. There's no actual spider zone in here, so they can rest if they need to, whatever it might be. And then once they walk in, you've got this nice little grove with these mushrooms and the little skeleton spirit guy here just kind of chilling out and looking around. A little pretty area. Even though Eastwash kind of has this dark, gloomy look, I felt like it would be nice if certain areas had more of an elegance, bright features that made it a little more like there used to be some bright cheeriness to this region, and something happened that kind of tore the land apart and just made it gloomy, dark, and almost like a rotting corpse of itself of what it once was. And thus the marshy swampness of Eastwash was born. So again, I'm not going to make it back to the road, but if we look over from the little mushroom circle here this direction, it's kind of hard to tell because again I tried to hide it visually so that there were segmented little zones here. So you can see you have big spider zone with the elite spider, you have the ambush area as part of the quest, you have the little mushroom circle here, and then you have the bandit camp over here. They're all really close technically, but kind of as you're walking through, you don't really identify them as being that close together. They're kind of segmented apart visually, and they're separated by the little spider zone, so it feels like maybe the area is bigger, more separated out. So if you don't find these areas as a player to start with, you won't get there until the quests that kind of lead you that direction take you there, and so it makes it feel like the entire region is way bigger than it actually is. This is a technique that a lot of game devs actually do use. If you look at games developed by groups like Bethesda is a really good example of a world-building game developer, and so when they develop games, they can create really tight spots that have a lot of density to it, but at the same time feel really big and open, just because certain aspects of it are hidden and you don't see everything right away. So if we kind of head this direction, if you're on ground level as a player, you're gonna kind of notice maybe some camp stuff over here, but for the most part, you got this brush and everything in the way. And if you kind of just walk through, then you'll find the camp and how it's opened up here. And then, you can kind of still make out certain portions of other things, but it feels like they're far away and hard to see. And then you've got the little tower over here, the Angari camp. So if we kind of head this direction, like if you're down here, maybe you think as a bandit you can't really be noticed by these guys, or maybe this is theoretically camouflaged, and we can always add some features to it to make it look a little more hidden so the Angari can see them, but they can't see the Angari. Would maybe be a cool feature. If we head out here, and then we'll actually just head back toward the road, which is not that far, over to the little hunter's cabin here, where we have our friend Wicca Loudfoot, and just added obviously some more features through here, make it look like a little more used. He's got a little cooking spit and some supplies to kind of keep him grounded here for a while. He can stay put, doesn't have to go out and venture for supplies too often. And then if we keep making our way up the road, we've got some features, again, blocking things in front of you so you can't see beyond it very well. So you're always wanting to move forward and explore. But you can kind of see there's a little bit of a house over here. I haven't done a lot of features detailing this direction after this point, so once we pass this big rock, that's what we're going to kind of work on a little bit today. But if we head off the road this way, we've got another little area with some rocks and felled trees, and you can kind of see, if we come back to the road, you can kind of see the tower again here, so it gets you kind of thinking you want to explore that direction, but there's some big features again in the way. Got to make your way through a spider area, and again, this rock has a fence around it, so players won't just phase through it in theory. And if we go this direction, the spider area kind of ends right at the edge of where this tower is, as if these guys are protecting the region any further from any spiders venturing this direction. And these guys from their tower can totally see the bandits, which is why, as part of the trials over here, one of the quest lines will send you over to go deal with the bandits, because the Angari are definitely aware of it. And then we'll kind of head back over to the road again, and as we approach these big rocks over here, I kind of made a little fork in the road, and the reason I did this is this way will kind of take you straight toward the Loudfoot estate. This way kind of branches, and there's a little dividing point here with another fork, so you can go that same direction toward the estate, or you can head up to the little house we built here earlier at one point where we got some quest lines to do, more as like a little side quest feature. But I added in some more details around this house, both to make it seem a little more homey, as if there was some overgrowth as well. And I gave them a little deck on the back side of their house here that I'm going to keep building onto as well. I got an idea here for at least a visual thing. It's not going to be functional for players, but we'll create a little walkway, I think, kind of headed down, all the way down the cliffside here toward the water with a dock. So we'll work on that as well. The ladders that would normally be used just as ladders vertically that you can place on any object, I found work pretty dang well actually as a railing system. If you just kind of clip it through sideways, they look like lashed up railings. Very clean and neat, so I thought that was a nice little feature there as well. And then if we head back to the road here, we'll go back this direction. Now this is where I've kind of ended. I haven't done any of the detailing this far up yet, but if we turn around, we've got this big rock is actually one of the runestone features, scenery items in the game. I thought was a really cool kind of, I wanted a big rock here, but something that stood out as like, whoa, that's weird, that's different. It's not just a rock, it's got some huge massive designs on it. So maybe we'll have something connected to that later at some point. But again, inside of this there is a fence running through it, so even though the rocks kind of do add a visual obstruction, there wouldn't really be anything preventing players from going through it. I wanted to make sure that players would actually walk the path around this and not just venture through it. Granted, they do usually stay on the path, so I'm not that worried about it to begin with, but, you know, better be safe than sorry. Alright, so what I kind of want to do is venture into extending out this deck, not necessarily the deck, but create a staircase down in toward the water with a dock, and that kind of leads to why these people are maybe, you know, fearful of the giant crocodile that's down here. It's too close to where they normally do any fishing or whatever else they utilize the water here for. Before we get too far into anything today though, I did want to do a major upgrade up here, so we are going to actually enter into version 7.0. All of the detailing it did added a lot of features that allowed me to hit the threshold of going to 6.6 point, you know, a lot. Last time we did flight paths, which I think was really useful, and I'll actually show you I did add 2 flight paths into Brightwood, and I'll explain why on that as well. And something I want to do, because I spent a lot of time working on the social and, you know, the communication between players and kind of that like role-playing aspects of the game, I want to give something back to the combat-oriented players. So I think I'm actually going to enable PvP duels, and this I'm hoping will actually give a little more insight into some of the character balancing, because if players start to do PvP against each other, we might see more imbalances between player classes, and I want to be able to kind of hit those things on the head early before things get too drastic. So I'm going to go ahead and do PvP duels. It's going to help add to the gibs on our overall attributes of our game. So we'll go ahead and just release that, and we are going to go into version 7.0, and that's going to trigger a streamer event. Popular web streamer. It's going to begin month 2, day 1, around 1 o'clock. Alright, well that's good to know. It's currently only month 1, day 5. I don't know how many days are actually in a month in the game. Really quick, I want to go zip on over to Brightwood, and what I did was I added in a couple of flight paths. So I added in this little guy here, and you can see somebody's flying away off into the distance. Hopefully he doesn't run into anything. Does he make it over that building? And he disappeared anyways. Well, that's cool. So I added in this little station here, and oh, I should probably add a guard. That makes sense. There should be somebody kind of managing this. I didn't even think about that. Let's put a fighter guy. He's just gonna chill behind the counter, and he is gonna manage this little flight path area. So we've got this, I don't know, it's not a griffin. I guess it's just kind of it is just a bird. It does look very aggressive. But yeah, I added a little station for him. Make it look like he's got his own little flight path business. And there's 2 directions it's going to go from here. The reason I did this, and this kind of goes along with some of the other balancing I did early on in, maybe it was the last episode or the one before that, where I spoke about increasing the speed of players. And if players can just move around faster, they'll actually level faster. I didn't want to make it too easy for players to go around, so there's only a couple of different areas they're able to go to, and those are going to be the main questing regions. So obviously the main town needs its own station here. That makes sense, so players can return here. The first area that they're able to go to, and we'll kind of head this direction, we can follow this guy who's currently flying, is going to make its way, and I love how you can control the flight path's direction, so I made it kind of weave through the trees, super cool, kind of like you were flying through the area, and it's going to bring you over to the stables by the Baron's estate here, so that then players can be in this region a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. We head back over to the station here by the main town. Ooh, we got a couple of bugs popping up here. Guys are freezing out. That's not good. I think we might have some bugs here. No, there's no bugs there. It looks like it's okay. Anyways, we're going to follow the other flight path here. I was hoping that I would get somebody that would actually hop into the flight path and go that direction. You're going that way. Oh, this guy's gone. We got a ranger headed that direction, so we'll follow him. Gonna fly. Ooh, they kind of clipped through that tree. I might have to just move that tree, be the easiest thing to do. We'll kind of. Oh, he disappeared. Where did he go? Anyways, we'll just follow the path. It's gonna head this direction, and players will arrive over here by the coast, by our other little kind of makeshift, not town, but little like intersection point by the big spire region. So basically the second major arc of the quests in Brightwood. So now both regions over here are going to have easy access to actually get to and from areas. They can get back to town a little bit quicker, so they don't have to walk everywhere. Now I did something a little bit interesting with the pricing. I did make this cost gold, obviously. It's 5 gold to get out of town, so I want to encourage players to travel quickly to go to where the quests are so they can start gaining experience. But the cost of actually coming back is 10 gold. So double the price might seem like a bit of a stretch, but from what I've been looking at amongst players in terms of their inventory, yeah, 594 gold. If players kind of know what they're doing and they're getting loot and they're going and selling the loot, not even remotely a chance they can't afford it. So some of the other flight paths that I make that'll kind of connect regions or go really long distances, I'll probably make a lot more pricey, because clearly the economy in the game is something we can, take advantage of and scale up a lot more than what I previously expected. Because if this guy is still in Brightwood, and for example he's still only level 1 and he's got almost 600 gold, there's nothing to worry about. But for players who are inexperienced, I wanted it to be kind of easy in Brightwood to be able to still go back and forth, nice and quick, help them gain experience, help them sell loot, help them buy more potions, upgrade their weapons, simplify things here, and then as they go to other regions, we'll kind of blow everything up from that point. And you can see there's quite a bit of life going on here. Increasing the density of a lot of these combat regions is necessary just because the number of characters that are actually running around. If we click on some of these, I have noticed that the death counts are pretty high, but whenever I've done like a little kind of isolated selection on a character, and that guy just died unfortunately, but we'll find another one, that's okay. Let's grab this paladin. So he's level 1 and he's in a level 2 region. If he's gonna die to level 2 enemies as a level 1 character, I'm not gonna, I'm not upset about it, because any quests that would force the player to go fight these is a level 2 quest and they shouldn't be doing anyways. As far as I know, the AI is smart enough in the game to know, like, oh, if a quest is sending me to a level 2 area and I'm level 1, I'm not going to do that quest. I'm not ready for it. But if they're just going over here to farm and kind of grind on their own, that's their own fault. I'm not going to worry about that. So the number of deaths here doesn't concern me for the most part because so many of them are level 1 characters. Again, we need to have the philosophy of get good, dude. There's level 1 areas to go farm up. You can grind somewhere else, you can do other quests, you can level up before you get here, and then it'll be a lot easier from that point. Oh, we actually won an award, Best Visuals. All right. Oh, we're in month 2, day 1. Oh, we're gonna actually have our streamer event coming up in like 30 in-game minutes. That's pretty quick. We should find out, I don't know who the streamer is. Did it say who the streamer was gonna be? I don't think it did. But while we're waiting for that, I want to go back into the overview. We'll look at levels, and you can actually see we're at 104 level 2 characters now. As long as I let the game play out, this number's been going up consistently, and I have let the game play out a little bit during some of the detailing I've done, mostly because I needed to gain some cash as I was building stuff. But I also wanted to see how well this is bouncing out. 105 now, so it's happening a lot quicker, partially because of the movement speed buff, and part of these flight paths being oriented, so hopefully we start to get some more level 2 players in here, and then hopefully that evolves into some level 3 characters that can then finally make their way into our next region and start to alleviate the pressure that exists in Brightwood, because as you can see, our game is pretty dang popular at this very second. But I would kind of like to make sure I check out this streamer event because I have missed so many of them in the past. So right as it's about to come up, I'm just going to chill out here in Brightwood. And streamer has connected. Popular web influencer Sticky Blood has connected. Okay, I'm gonna go to this guy. Where are they? Sticky Blood, Sticky Blood. All right, Sticky Blood is apparently a wizard. Clearly has played. Going home to log out. Oh, I mean, they've played quite a bit. They got 1,700 experience, but if they just started streaming, why are they going home to log out? Listen, I'm not a streamer, but if you're just gonna stream yourself walking to go turn the game off, that sounds like a pretty terrible stream to me. Alright, he's headed to the inn, and yes, Sticky Blood has logged out. Streamer disconnected. They seem to have a good time. I don't think any of their viewers did because they didn't do anything. Alright, so the satisfaction was a 5. Out of what? I have no idea. Extra subscribers, estimation at 500. Not gonna lie, I don't think I need more subscribers because we're already exceeding capacity, and if there's 941 connected at the moment, 944 according to this up here, 46, 48, it's going up, it's going crazy. We're approaching capacity. I think our capacity is like, what is it? 1,000? 12? Well, maybe it's 1,200. Okay, Brightwood's capacity is 1,200, that's fine. Also, BT dubs, our game rating is over 900 out of 1,000. That sounds pretty good to me. At this point, we're beating some major real-world RPGs in terms of Metacritic ratings. Eat your heart out, Josh Sawyer. What I did want to do is dive into this again. I'm going to use kind of the riggedy tables here to make staircases. I'm going to do place on object just because I want to see if this is the right size. Now, some tricks I've learned recently playing around. Obviously, if you press X before you actually place the object, you'll go into the kind of precise move components. So you can move the object a little more, but you can still have access to the scale. So you can actually scale it before you place it and kind of figure out exactly how big you want it to be. So where is, it's hard to tell where the edge of the earth is here because this is not the brightest lit area in the world. I think I got this kind of lined up. I want to take it out and then we're going to go down and I want to make sure this doesn't look too crazy of a step. Maybe a little higher. Right about there. Now where is, again, where is the earth? Yeah, I don't want that floating like that. So maybe I scale it up. I think these other ones I had at 2.0 is the size. Yeah, and then if I line them up, let's go out that way, about halfway down, so we create a step that way. That way at least it's connected to the ground here. And then what we can do is we can go place, and then that will actually give us a good setup to kind of place the next one. Kind of line this up to there, bring it up. And then we've got the next step, go place. And the nice thing about this is as long as you keep the precise move up and then hit place, it's going to always keep everything oriented and lined up. So if you want to keep things squared up as you're making stuff, just keep using this same method over and over again. And don't use your left click, but always use the precise move and then hit place. You're going to get this nice little clean staircase going down. Kind of doing like long steps here. I kind of like it actually on this mellow read portion of the staircase. Oh, see there I left clicked, so now I don't get to move that one. But what we can do maybe is I'm gonna put one slightly below it, about there, and we'll do a precise move on that one. I'm gonna place it, and then real quick I'm gonna back out, and I actually want to bring this one down slightly. Place there, and we'll create kind of like another little landing point after a couple of steps. And I like how it kind of merges in with the ground here, as if that's kind of where it's anchored and connected to as well. I might add some other stuff in here for supports, just because we don't want it to look like this deck or anything is floating. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this a little bit, but I'm gonna make these stairs a little bit steeper now. I'll layer this one in just a bit more. And what I want to start to see is it mold into the ground a little bit so we can start to shorten the steps as well. So we'll place that one there. The next one looks like it's going to line up even. Oh, didn't want to do that. I'm going to scale it to 2.0. We're going to go X to do a precise move. Let's line them up. Okay, so that's as low as it'll let me go because I'm too clipped into the ground. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to scale down because I want these steps to be steeper. We'll go 1.5. Can I bring it out? Yeah, we'll even it out with the edge here still. Bring it down and in. And I think we might have to scale it down a little more. Go 0.3. We'll place there. Now, as soon as we hit place again, we're still at a scale of 1.3, so it kind of keeps everything, again, the same size that we want to see. Remember to hit X, don't just place it. And I'm lowering it again, and that's as low as I can go clipping, so now we'll be able to scale this back even more. I'm going to take it down to 1, and that's about where I want it, I think, to create the actual scale of the staircase. We'll take this in a little bit, out to line up the edges. We're still clipped through the ground nicely, so you can see the edge of the staircase is kind of force you to go this direction, so we'll make it a little more narrow from this point forward. Yeah, now we're starting to get that actual staircase scale that I want. Perfect. As the ground starts to scale out here with the slant of the cliff, I'm going to start to curve these because I'm going to want to have it kind of forcibly turn sharp to go the other direction. And again, just to reiterate, as long as you're using X to go directly into precise move, the next piece you lay is always going to be lined up exactly with the one you just did. So you'll notice this is curved compared to the first ones we did. So I'm going to line up the edge, hit X, drop it. If you hit X again, we get back into the rotation. This next one's going to rotate further, hit X again, kind of line it up with the edge here. We're essentially trying to create a little bit of a spiral staircase feature. I'm going to line those up so they're connected at least. Alright, so I'm building out a shop here to put on the edge of Eastwash, but I'm thinking it might be a good spot to also put another flight path. Oh, hey, there's our game dev. He's turning things on. Oh, look at him go. Oh, ooh, he's looking a little twerked. Oh, there he goes. Alright, yeah, we'll put a little flight path over here. I think it might be, actually, maybe I should put it, yeah, let's put it in here. There's a flight path guy here. No idea where I'm going to put that yet, but, you know, not going to go anywhere at the moment. We should probably have an inn somewhere over here too, because we're going to have limited inn space probably in the total of this entire region. Yeah, we'll just use a small one. And then maybe a tavern too. That'd be good, yeah. Kind of like the elegant one. Let's put one of those in. And then we'll make the shopkeeper here a little wizard, and I owe a couple of people some named characters, so this is actually going to be... This is Frank Beans, the traveling merchant. Frank Beans, welcome to the game. We'll go ahead and create a flight path, I think, here too. Uh-oh. I just killed some trees. Okay, we fixed it. It's fine. And we have a flight path. Make this a little more expensive here too. Let's say 25. No. To go that direction, we're gonna say 50. I just realized I have this thing completely backwards. Alright, now there's a little bit more of a establishment here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All part of the same estate. Before I forget, actually, this whole zone I did over here with the respawn point, I should probably add some walls inside of these rocks. Alright, that should kind of help direct people to stay on the path for the most part. Cool little intro here to this. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we should do our upgrade here too again. We'll do some more combat. Let's do Gibbs. And you know what? I've done quite a bit of detailing on this, plus the stuff I showed you at the beginning of the episode too, so hopefully this has been a really good one to kind of watch how I usually go through and detail stuff and lay stuff out. It's very fluid, organic. I don't overthink anything. I just like to think of it as my my Bob Ross way of putting it together. Happy little accidents everywhere. Again, everyone, thanks for watching. This has been that one playthrough of MMORPG Tycoon 2. I am Kyle, and I hope I will see you in the next episode. But before I go, I have a very special question for each and every one of you. Looking at the map here, I want to give everyone watching the option to select either Region 1, Region 2, or Region 3 as the next location we're going to move into. Please leave your comments down below on which one you'd prefer, and we'll see where I end up in a couple of episodes. Have a good day.